All right, good afternoon, everybody. It is Wednesday, July 27th, and as you can see, I'm back to crappy handheld cell phone video here today, but got a pretty useful video for you here. I'm going to talk to you about an alternative cleaning method. So, if you watched any of my previous videos, you know I've discussed plasma cleaning as a way to remove organic contamination when you are doing your STEM work or electron microscopy work in general. It doesn't have to be STEM, you can do it for just SEM as well. But particularly with STEM, there can be some challenges to doing plasma cleaning. So one of them is if you're using support film grids, the plasma, if your support film is carbonaceous, it will attack the support film. And so depending on how thick the support film is, it can usually take some amount of plasma cleaning and not degrade too much, but I mean, you can't clean it for as long as you want because eventually it will just completely disintegrate. So that's a bit of a problem, right? If you're working with support film grids, and a lot of people do work with support film grids, especially if they're doing particulate work or nanoparticle work, stuff like that. Obviously, lamella stuff, it's not really a concern. But if you're working with a support film grid, an alternative cleaning method is UV-ozone. So that's what we have here, is a UV-ozone cleaning system. Now, this is not designed for cleaning STEM holders. There are systems out there that are designed specifically for that purpose. I do not have one of those here at this facility, but I have figured out through trial and error that I can fit this entire tomography holder inside of this cleaner, which is really for wafers actually, and I can clean it that way. Unfortunately, you don't know it right now, but we're on the second floor of the building. The microscope's on the first. Unfortunately, we're not like 2 seconds between, pulling it out of the plasma cleaner and putting it into the microscope. So, once this is done, I have to quickly run downstairs and get it into the airlock, which is a bit of a pain. But the advantage of this UV-ozone, so it actually here, so I'll show you what I've got here. So this is, again, you don't want to set this directly on this metal thing, right? So I've got one of these pie tins that's kind of supporting it here, and then another one here to prevent it from rotating. So actually the bank of lights is only on the top. So I will clean one side and then I'll rotate this 180 and clean the other side. So anyways, let's go ahead and just close this up. Okay, make sure, yep, still looks good. Okay, put this down, and then right here you program the time. Okay, so that's set for minutes. So yeah, I mean, you can clean. I'll go ahead and set this for 10 minutes and run it here, and then I'll keep explaining what's going on here. So go ahead and power, and there we go. Okay, so how does UV ozone cleaning work? It works with 2 wavelengths of ultraviolet light. So there's 185 nanometers, and then there's 254 nanometers. So the 185 nanometers does the first step, which is it converts oxygen into ozone. Okay, that's the first thing. And then the slightly longer wavelength, the 254, that is primarily responsible for breaking up the organic crud that you have on your surfaces. Okay, so then the ozone can then react with it, and it basically is then volatile and can be pumped away. Okay, so it uses 2 wavelengths of light to accomplish the goal. Okay, one to actually create the ozone, and then one to break down the organics, and then the ozone can do its thing, and you're left with a clean surface. Okay, The advantage of this is that this is very gentle on samples, so especially carbonaceous ones and organic ones. But with the case of like a support film grid, this will not attack the support film, okay? So I have put this in here for 20 minutes, meaning like 10 minutes on a side, and the carbon support film is completely intact afterwards. This is, I've done this with like the ultra thin carbon support films that are 2-3 nanometers thick. Again, after 10-20 minutes with this, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly intact, no issues at all. Just today, I cleaned one of the gold replica grading samples that we use for the STEM alignment and calibrations. And again, I did 10 minutes on a side, 20 minutes total. And then I went and I was able to do atomic res stem with no contamination problems at all. So it worked perfectly. So it is effective. You know, it helps if your samples are clean to begin with, but I do know for a fact that it will work. And again, you can really let this go as long as you want, right? You know, it's basically as patient as you can be, right? More is better to a degree. Unfortunately with this, you know, you're only getting light coming from one direction, so you do have to flip it over and clean both sides. If you're lucky enough to have one of the holders or the cleaners that is dedicated for STEM holders, that has banks of light that go all around the holder, so it cleans everything all simultaneously from every angle, okay? So there's no issue with having to rotate. So, but I just wanted to mention this as another cleaning methodology. I don't know if you have access to one of these at your facility. Thankfully we do. Unfortunately, you know, like I said, I can only get the tomography holder in there. Another option that we could do is, right, if you wanted to do this with, say, you could just say put a grid in there and maybe like a self-locking pair of tweezers, and then again flip it over, clean the other side, and then if you wanted to use a different holder, you could quickly rush to the microscope room or wherever you have the holders, put the grid in the holders, and then put the holder into the microscope. That's a bit more time consuming, obviously, than if you already have the grid in the holder, but again, there's just, due to the steric hindrance, if you will, there's no way to put anything bigger than that tomography holder in there or a pair of tweezers. So, but it's a video I've been wanting to do. This is super easy to use, of course. It's basically just, you know, put it in there, set the timer, and go. Less complicated than a plasma cleaner, because you don't need any vacuum for this either. So, so hopefully that gives you some ideas, or, you know, something else to think about. You know, explore your facility. You might have stuff around that you might find useful. Thankfully, this is outside of our clean room, so I can use it. You know, although I would like to, I did look into buying one of the contraptions that cleans STEM holders. I think I asked for a quote from somebody and they never got back to me, so I'll have to see if I can dig that up. But hope things are going well for you here as July comes to a close, and you know, we got M&M next week, so hoping to see you all there very soon. And take care, everyone.